It's California Edition. My name is Brad Pomerance. We are in Sacramento today. We are joined by Devon Mathis. He is a member of the California State Assembly. I must ask, sir, I see that you're wearing, is that a Purple Heart?
Yes, sir.
Tell us about that. It's hard to ignore.
It's 2008. Actually, the 7-year anniversary of it just passed April 9th. So 7 years ago, south of Baghdad, it was blown up complex roadside bombs.
It's got to be very difficult to consider that time, but you must wear that with tremendous pride. I want to touch it, maybe after I will, but it's got to be a real source of pride.
Come by the office and I'll show you the actual thing and the write-up and all of that.
Right, yeah, I congratulate you, I honor you, and how honorable it must be to continue your service to our country as a member of the California State Legislature.
Absolutely, it's an honor.
And you must be triply proud because you got your first bill out of committee.
I did.
Tell us about that.
Well, it's AB 144, and what happened with this was my local sheriff, Mike Boudreau, came to me actually at the World Ag Expo, and he goes, Devon, we have this problem. There's a lot of people complaining about people dumping on their land. And it's becoming a big issue. And
let's remind our viewers, you represent kind of the heart of the Central Valley, Tulare County, a lot of open space. And so...
Well, I have Tulare County, I dropped down into Kern County, and I have all of Inyo County.
Okay, so there you have it, a huge geographic district with lots of land, and people take advantage, like you said, and they just dump their private trash on private property.
Yeah, and I mean, this is it's a problem not only to the people that it's getting dumped on, but when you look at environmental impacts, when you look at things like what's going on with the water situation, I mean, there's concerns all the way across the board, and it's not just Tulare County that's being affected. If you ask any legislature that has any little bit, I mean, there's people dumping TVs on the side of the road. What's the impact of that? And so what this does is, instead of just being an infraction, what this does is it goes after the guys who are doing this all the time.
And here's what's interesting and compelling about what you have done. We know it's become very difficult to increase penalties for any act as a result of our prison overcrowding situation.
Yes.
As a result of AB 109, prison realignment. Now, Prop 47 may impact that, but we'll just put that aside. You've learned in your short time here to get anything done that deals with criminal justice is not easy. And yet somehow, some way, sir, you were able to get your bill, which deals with criminal justice, increasing penalties for a bad act, out of Public Safety 7-0.
Yes.
Dude, if I can use that expression, forgive me, I can't help it. That's stunning.
So what I did was I went to Assemblyman Bill Cork, who's the chairman of the committee.
A Democrat?
A Democrat.
And you're a Republican?
And I went, hey, here's this thing, here's this problem. And, we talked in his office, we talked with, ledge staff and everybody else. ACLU had some opposition at first.
Interesting.
And we kind of worked through that.
What was their opposition?
It's because originally we wanted to go directly to a misdemeanor.
I see.
And going directly to a misdemeanor creates a new law right off the bat. What this does is it goes more pointed to the guys who are serials, who are continuing to do this.
Serial offenders.
Yes,
truly
absolutely.
Serial offenders.
And so we wanted to target the serial offenders because, especially in rural areas, somebody finds somewhere out in the middle of nowhere, a farmer, a rancher, whomever, they typically just take care of it themselves. They don't want to go through everything. But with this, now we can target those guys and actually put some teeth into something. And, I'm very proud of it because this is my first bill. It's a bill that was born in district, working with other elected officials, Mike Boudreau, our sheriff.
Right.
Tim Ward, who's our DA.
And that's really kind of the best of American democracy. It kind of grows up from the grassroots.
Absolutely.
It's a problem that needed...
My thing, back home, when I talk to people, I'm like, you guys elected me to represent you. You tell me what I need to work on. And this was quite literally the sheriff going, Devon, here's a problem, let's work on this. And
again, the fact that you're able to work with a chairman who's a Democrat, and look, it is Sacramento. The environment is not poisonous like it has been in D.C. So y'all can get stuff done, Democrats and Republicans, but still, it's not easy.
Well, I have two options as a legislature.
Right.
One, I can grab a soapbox and I can yell and piss everybody off.
Right.
And nobody will want to talk to me. The other one is I can go, hey man, How do we come to something that we can all work with, that'll get through, that we can agree upon?
And that's what happened here.
And that's exactly what happened here.
And so under the legislation, AB 144, for the first, second, and third offense, infractions, but then if you're...
Well, there are infractions where the fine goes up.
Exactly.
And then on the fourth offense, it goes up where it goes into the misdemeanor.
So now...
Which can give you 6 months jail time.
Right. And arguably, people may serve that 6 months because with Prop 47, as I hinted before, we're actually seeing our populations decrease because some of these offenses are no longer classified, these drug offenses, as felonies, and so there may be some space.
Yeah, absolutely.
So here's the challenge. From public safety, you move into appropriations.
Yes.
And we've learned that appropriations often is a place where bills die.
Well, bills are supposed to die in public safety.
But yeah, out there you have it, and it didn't. So what's the strategy? Where do you go from here?
I'm going to go and I'm going to talk to the chairman.
Right.
And I'm going to have, the same conversation. I'll probably ask Assemblyman Bill Cork to go with me.
Right.
And the fact that it passed,
right, 7-0. Right.
In that 7-0, you've got to realize 2 of those are Republicans.
Right. Right.
5 of those are Democrats.
So it really is.
So obviously this is a problem that we can reach a bipartisan agreement on, where we can all say dumping on private property is wrong, and there needs to be a harsher penalty for
I got to ask you, I don't know if you're your own personal whip, and I don't even know if there are whips in committee, but did you know that 7-0 was in the offing? Did you expect this?
I was hopeful for it.
Yeah.
I had a very good conversation.
Had you spoken with the other members of the committee before the bill came up?
I had spoken with some of them.
Okay.
Having the chair on your side,
it does help.
in a committee is obviously a good thing. And part of it was I did accept the chairman's amendments.
Right.
And, that was moving it from a direct misdemeanor to the serial.
Right. So let me ask you, let's presume it goes through approps, gets to the assembly floor, passes out of the assembly. Now you got to bring it to the Senate. Have you already started those discussions? Do you have some sponsors on the Senate side, or is that premature?
It's slightly premature, but I'm fairly confident working with my local senators. I have Senator Jean Fuller.
Well, she's going to be the new
Senator
leader.
Andy Vidak.
Okay, and he's got some juice as well.
Up here in Sacramento, it's kind of one of my goals is to get along with everybody.
Right.
Like I said, I've got the choice where I can stand on a soapbox and I can shout and I can yell, but everybody's going to tell me to go to hell. Or I can work with people and go, here's an issue, let's work together, let's solve this, and let's take care of people.
And consider, under the regime in which you were elected, as it relates to term limits, you are now here for 12 years, presuming re-election. So when
that's absolutely the plan.
Right, but before you were here for 6 years, so the soapbox seemed more welcoming. But now, like you said, you're going to be with these people for 12 years, presumably. And
and even back when I campaigned on people over politics. I told people, look, I'm not going to go to Sacramento and I'm not going to raise a bunch of hell. I'm going to go up there and I'm going to do the same thing I did in the military, which is, look, you might come from a different background than I do, but we have a job to do, and that's to take care of people and to look at what really needs to get done and figure out the best way to do that. So,
do you know what your second bill may be? Have you decided where you're going to go next? It's okay if you don't, but, we can revel in the victory.
We obviously have several things that we're looking at. Everybody's quite aware that I have a water package and some things coming out. I don't quite want to unveil those
yet. Which is fine. It's a very important issue, and it's one we need to have some serious forethought for. All I can say is congratulations. It must feel real good as a newly elected member of the legislature and a Republican to get a bill out of public safety. And just promise me you'll come back, tell us what happens in approps on the floor of the Assembly, the Senate, and when it gets sent to the
Absolutely.
You bet. His name is Devon Mathis. He is a member of the California State Assembly. My name is Brad Pomerance, coming to you from Sacramento. It's California Edition.